If you're a vintage Star Wars collector, then you probably know that no Kenner Star Wars toys with the title Revenge of the Jedi ever made it to stores. Or did one of them slip through? Let's talk about it. Welcome back to the Junk Room, everybody. It's me, the Junkman, coming back at you with another video. That's right, another video. 2 videos a day, Monday through Friday, and random on the weekends, noon and at 8. Well, on the Eastern Time Coast. I don't know what time it is over there when you see my videos. And we actually got 2 new shirts at junkmanmerch.com. And if you buy them today, what's the day? The 11th, April 11th, they're only $13. Check them out. Boom! Boom! Guess that's how you do it anyway. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, let's look at the Twitter from Jordan Hembro. I think Hembro. I'm not sure how you say that, sorry, but you know him as the Toy Hunter. He had a television show called The Toy Hunter, lasted about a season, where he would go to all these houses and find a bunch of cool stuff in the attic that you know was planted there, but they act like they found it and didn't know. Oh my god, the rare ride-on speeder bike just happens to be in this attic and no one knew it. But let's look at a tweet that he put up. After more than 30 years, mysterious Star Wars pieces still come through my hands. This Revenge of the Jedi toy showed up at a K-mart retail store in the 80s. I suspect test market or early production era. Verified, authentic. This is one mystery for the history books. Well, let's take a closer look at this mystery. First, we know, or we've been told for over 30 years, that no Revenge of the Jedi merchandise from Kenner made it to the stores. No action figures were ever bubbled and carted and shipped out on a Revenge card. No toys were ever packaged with the Revenge card. Sure, they were working on packages that said Revenge of the Jedi. We've seen almost every figure from the first series of Return of the Jedi with Revenge, but it never got bubbled. You never found them bubbled. They never got shipped out to stores. And even those inside Kenner employees that worked for Kenner back in the day said no, that these were never mass produced, that none of the toys ever got mass produced. By the time they learned of the title change, they went back and fixed everything before anything went into mass production would end up in a store. So how did this one toy get to K-mart? After almost 30 years, this is the only one that's ever been found to be in a store. Well, let's take a look at the tweet again. As you can see, he's got 3 photos here, and it does show a Kmart price tag, which indicates, hey, this thing was sold at Kmart. Now, it does say in the tweet that it's been verified. How it's been verified, I'm not really sure. I did tweet out to him, hoping to get a reply. He did favor some of the replies, but he never did answer how this thing got verified. Is he saying it's verified just because it has a price sticker on it? Really, I hope not. Now, the Toy Hunter has been selling, collecting, and verifying Star Wars Kenner toys for over 30 years. So I'm going to say he knows what he's talking about. But let's take a closer look at the box. The first thing you notice looking at it, this thing is old and beat up. It is weathered. It looks like it's from the era, which would be probably very late 1982 or very early 1983. Now, the first thing the skeptic sees in me is the tape on the title. It looks like it's been peeled up, replaced down, and it's causing a shift in the title, which to me is a dead giveaway. If you were going to fake it, to throw off anything suspicious, you would do this so the title would be hard to read. So any little error could be covered up with the tape. However, if you look at the side of the box, it says Revenge of the Jedi, no tape markings at all, and it's clear this is printed on the box. And it's also on the back of the box also. Now, when I first looked at this, the first thing I saw was the Star Wars logo with the racetrack around it. For some reason, the S looked a little off at the end of Wars, and that silver racetrack doesn't touch the S, which I always thought it would. And I thought, hey, that looks kind of odd right there. So I went and did some research and looked at some known Return of the Jedi boxes, and the logo fits. The S is odd looking, and the racetrack around the text doesn't touch the S. I never noticed that, but it's weird that it didn't touch the S. It comes out of the S and then stops right before the S. Now, I know you can buy fake reproduction boxes. Reproductions. You can buy fake reproduction boxes of this thing that says Revenge of the Jedi. You can buy them online, probably about $30. I'm not really sure because it was in UK dollars when I saw it. So it's possible someone could have bought this and beat a box up and made it look like 1980. I think that would take a lot of work to make it look like it's been that beat up. And I'm pretty sure someone like the toy hunter knows a reproduction box versus the old cardboard used in 1982, 83, and wouldn't be fooled if he had this thing in hand. Now, I'm not sure if he has this thing in hand or just saw pictures of it, but if he's holding it in his hand, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't fool him. So to me, the box looks right. Everything on the box, I couldn't find anything on the box that looked photoshopped or looked fake. As far as I know, the box looks right, and it looks really beat up for the time period. Again, doesn't look like somebody bought a reproduction box and kicked it up and down the street until it looked old. This thing looks over 30 years old. So I wanted to take a closer look at that price tag. So let's take a look at it. As you can see, it says K-mart, so we know it comes from K-mart. At the top is some kind of code, 4-1. That 1 is inside a little pink area, so it means key. Key 1, I'm not really sure what key 1 means. I did try to look it up, but I couldn't really find much information. And the price is $5.96, which is about the price of this thing. Give or take a few dollars depending on what retailer had it. So the price seems right. So what I did then is I went on Google and I spent all day looking at price tags for K-mart. From the 80s, from the 90s, whatever price tag I could find for K-mart, I took a look at it. So let's look at a few of them. First, we have this K-mart one that's yellow. It's on the Empire Strikes Back cards. You can see it has key 1, like the one in question. But this is a yellow sticker and looks nothing like the sticker on the box. Now, I found this sticker here that looks a lot like the K-mart sticker that's on the Revenge of the Jedi box. Now, when I found this photo, I can't tell what this price tag is on, but looking at the racetrack, it looks like it might have been linked to Star Wars, but that's just a guess. Now it says 54 instead of just 4. What these codes mean, I'm not really sure. If you know anyone that worked at K-mart, or maybe you worked at K-mart, maybe you can explain these codes a little bit more. But key 1 is the same, although the 1 is more in the pink area, and on the questionable price tag, it's right on the edge of the pink area. Now here's a K-mart price tag on an 8D8. Now this price tag looks about the same, except it has that key area cut out. So let's look at another one. Here's Return of the Jedi Rebel Commando. As you can see, this price tag looks almost the same also. The only thing that stands out differently is K-mart has a star after it, and the one in question doesn't. Here's another one that's a little close up. Now the key 1 is moved over to the other area, and it has a big one and a little one, and then a 129. This is a K-mart price tag, seems to be a little different era. Now here's a Masters of the Universe Fisto, and it has a K-mart tag on it, although it's upside down. If I'm right, this figure should have been released right around that same time period, 1983, maybe it's 84, I don't know, somewhere around that time period, give or take a year. But it is upside down, so let me flip it over. It has the word key with the 1 inside, like the one in question, but it's moved over to the other side. And it has a price tag of 99 cents. Can you believe that? 99 cents. Let's look at the Empire Strikes Back. Now this figure should be in the right time frame, as it has the free Revenge of the Jedi Akbar, and the sticker looks almost the same. The pink box is in the same spot, key 1, there it is again, but it has the number 517. And ours in question just has 4-1. Here's another one that looks like the price tag in question, although the word key is in a different place. It has the number 88. And here's another one for Return of the Jedi. This is Lumbot, and looks like the same type of price tag. It has 112. It has 1244. Has the key in the box also. And I know I'm going through a lot of these, but I've got something to point out when I get done. So I know I went through a lot of price tags, but there's a reason for it. Because I noticed something while looking at all these price tags, and more of them than I showed here. Every K-mart price tag I could find had the dollar sign with the price. And if it didn't have a dollar sign, if it was like 99 cents, it had the little cent sign. Except the one in question doesn't have the dollar sign. I looked at a lot of price stickers from K-mart from all eras, from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and they all had the dollar sign except this one in question. There is something else I noticed. They did have one in the key area, but the one in question says 4-. I haven't seen a dash on any other price tag I looked at, and the one in question is the only one that has 1 digit. Every other price tag I looked at from K-mart has at least 2 digits or even more. But still, it doesn't mean this thing is fake. I mean, if you went through all this trouble to make this box fake and it looks so good, Why wouldn't he get the price tag right, or just buy something and remove the price tag and put it on this? Seems a lot easier, right? If you're going to spend so much time making a fake box. So I wasn't sure yet. So I reached out to other collectors. I asked Gus Lopez, who knows a lot about this Kenner stuff. I reached out to another guy. He reached out for me to Tom Clark, the production manager that was at Kenner at the time of this would have hit the stores. And he said what he's been saying for years: nothing with Revenge of the Sith got mass produced and shipped out to stores. He said if somebody said they found one at the store, they're lying or making it up. But again, I don't think the toy hunter would have made it up, and I can't see him being fooled unless somebody made a really good production box, which seems like a lot of trouble to go through for no reason. There is one more thing about this price tag I didn't point out. Let's take another look at it. Notice the odd number, 41. What does 41? Well, when I posted this on the Junkman Facebook group, one of those people pointed it out. That's April Fool's Day. Did we just get conned? Is this a big April Fool's joke? Well, the toy hunter tweeted this out yesterday, which would be April the 10th, way after April Fool's Day. But it's possible maybe he got fooled on April 1st and never figured out that he was getting fooled and just now got around to tweeting it out. I still don't think that's likely, but I thought, hey, it's kind of a coincidence. I must point it out. Now, I did talk to another Star Wars collector who knows a lot about production boxes and stuff, and he told me that, yes, one of these had been found before, but it didn't have a price tag on it, and it was never really sure if this was ever at a store other than it did get out. So after talking to him and talking to other collectors and asking you guys out there what you thought, we came up with at least two theories of what this might be. Theory number one is unlikely, but let's start there. This could have been some kind of test shipment. Kenner could have said, hey, let's see how these sell with a Jedi logo on it, but the Empire Strikes Back photo. Maybe we need to update the photo. Let's ship one case to some K-mart probably nearby, check the sales on it, see if it looks like it's consistent with the sales we should see, or are they not moving, and maybe we'll update to a Return of the Jedi type photo on it. I could see that happening, although it's very unlikely being that we've only seen this one, and why would test market it at one store? I don't think you're getting any good data just sending something to one store. It seems they would at least make, 10 cases and send them all throughout the country, not just to a K-mart, so that was very unlikely. So what do I think happened? One, I do think this box is real. I think the price tag is real. Now, I am kind of sitting on the fence. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say this thing is 100% real and we didn't get fooled. There's some questions about that price tag, as I've talked about here, but I can't find anything that makes me question the box itself. So here's the theory of what happened, or what most likely happened. This here is a Kenner salesman sample. Now, we do know Kenner salesmen went around the stores with products in a little briefcase or whatever of up-and-coming product, and they probably wanted to show off Return of the Jedi, or at that time Revenge of the Jedi. So a salesman probably went into K-mart showing some photos of stuff that was coming out, and being that this is really an Empire Strikes Back toy, and we do know that some of these cars were produced at Kenner, they just wasn't mass produced, they could have easily said, hey, let's throw a box together, do a couple of them, throw the toy in it, being we already have the toy, take it to the store, show them what it's going to look like. And I think that's what happened. Now, how did it end up for sale at K-mart? You can see it. I mean, this was way back before people collected stuff, so you can see it happening. He gave it to a K-mart manager, showed him what's coming out, probably threw it over the side somewhere. Week later, some employee found it, saw it, thought it should have been on the shelf, marked it with the price gun, threw it up on the shelf. It got sold, never got opened, and we end up talking about it today. You can see that happening. Now, I don't know the price codes, and maybe these price codes tell you that it's an employee item. Maybe the manager's like, hey, I'm going to buy this. It's kind of neat. It's a sales sample. I want to buy it. Maybe he printed his own label and put on it. And that 4 maybe means employee code. Maybe that's an employee code. That's reaching right there. I thought maybe that's why the price tag looked a little different. But again, most likely what happened, this was a sales sample shown off to a manager at K-mart. He looked at it. Somehow it ended up on a toy shelf with a price tag on it, sold to somebody who luckily kept it in the box. Now, there was probably other sales samples. Now, I talked to the collector that said he knows at least another one that didn't have a price on it, and he said that one was a sales sample. So it's clear some sales samples were out there, and I think that's what we're looking at here. So did any Kenner toys get out with Revenge of the Sith on it? Well, it depends on what you're talking about, get out. If you're talking salesman samples, got to the store, even sold at stores, sure, maybe. If you're talking about did they get mass produced, did they get shipped out from Kenner to stores? No, we're still at the same place we were. No Revenge of the Jedi toys ever got shipped out or mass produced. Well, let me know what you think. Maybe I overlooked something. Maybe you saw that photo and say, I can prove that's a Photoshop. I can prove that box is fake. Or maybe you're like, hey, this is what the codes mean. The codes line up with my time with K-mart. I know exactly what the codes are and why it doesn't have the price symbol on it. Well, either way, let me know what you think. And go ahead and tell me in the comments, because I know someone will, that they saw Revenge of the Jedi action figures at the store and bought them. But sadly, they opened them and they don't have any cards to prove it. I've heard it a lot. I've heard it as much as I've heard, hey, my cousin had a rocket-firing Boba Fett. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. And until next video, thumb us on my content and subscribe to the channel. We'll talk again soon.
Hey, Junkman channel popping though.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.